Welcome back to another cozy minimalist simple living chat. If you need some inspiration today, some advice, or just a hug, you are in the right place. I will be answering your questions as usual. Some book talk, royal book talk this week. What happened to those red sandals? Did they make it through probation? We have all things hygge, and as usual, your choice of 4 self-care missions. Which one are you going to choose this week? Diana Denmark here, another cozy minimalist simple living chat. We are creating a life that we love, that we don't want to run away from. I'm a routines coach and I'm helping you this year to simplify and to thrive. Right, diving straight in with the questions. Thank you for all the fantastic questions come in. This first one is from Vicky Lee. She says, my son and his family are visiting Copenhagen the weekend of June the 8th. Where should they start touring in your beautiful city? Thanks for all your inspiring videos and encouragement. Thank you, Vicky Lee. I am here in Copenhagen, wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen. And I tell any visitors to our beautiful city, the main thing, because I mean, I could tell you so many wonderful places to go, but the main thing is that if you've never been here before, is start off with a canal boat tour. You go to the Nyhavn area, it's like the new harbour area, very, very old harbour, but it's called Nyhavn. And you can do a cruise, which will give you a really good overview of the city. You'll hear about all the different landmarks, and it's a really good way to see a lot of Copenhagen in a short space of time. And we have such wonderful waterways here. So that's what I always say. Start off with the canal boat tour and make sure that you get some kind of Danish lunch, smørrebrød, which is the open sandwiches. And don't forget to try Danish kind of junk food, which is the hot dogs. Delicious with a chocolate milk. Okay, on to the next one. From Badger Momo, she says, and she's talking about a little video that I put out with a little reminder about doing your evening routine. She says, love the music with this reminder, Diane. Thank you. It was Earth, Wind and Fire, Star. You look fabulous in that blue sweater. What pink flower is in your vase? Kitchen is closed and coffee set up for the morning. Yay, go you, Badger Mama. The flower that was in my video, because I like to cut a bloom from the garden, put it beside the sink. It just makes my routines a bit more hygge. This is a rhododendron bloom from the garden. And actually it's just on its last legs. I'll be cutting a fresh one today. Look at that, they're huge, huge this year. And we have pink rhododendrons in the garden and blue ones, purpley ones, and our peonies, they're just starting to bloom. Love peonies. Okay, next question, on with the glasses. Questions about our Swedish summer house, our cabin. And you saw the video on Monday, was it Monday I posted the video, and there had been a fire in the next door house to us, and somehow by some miracle, our cabins survived. All our cabins are wooden. Anyway, so from Lorraine Willoughby, how far by car driving do you live from your cabin? 1 hour. We're 1 hour door to door from here in Copenhagen, across the bridge, if you've ever seen the TV series The Bridge, and then we're on the south coast. So it's 1 hour from our house here. Marie says, oh, it looks very cozy. Do you often go? Yes, because it's so close. We use a lot of weekends also in the winter. Miss Stingfan, she says, it must be nice to get away. When you vacation, do you go weeks or months at a time, or just quick weekends? Love today's decluttering video. I am in the living rooms this week too. Yeah, Miss Stingfan and others who have asked, we usually go there because it's so close. We often go there also during the winter, and when we're there it's usually a quick weekend. In the summer we might take a week there, but not usually longer than that, because then we like to be back in our main house here in Copenhagen. This question is from Sibongile Tiwala. She says, hi Diane, can you show us where you put your dirty dish towels and how often do you wash them? And that's a comment on the evening routine video that I made. You see me, I wipe down the sink at the end of the day, and I put out a fresh tea towel and a fresh hand towel. The tea towel is for drying dishes, the hand towel for hands. And any kind of cleaning cloths, I just put those on a hot wash and I wash them with towels. So, I mean, unless they're really, really grotty, then I would wash them separately, but I put them on a hot wash. And that's one of the advantages of using the Flylady system, that we're not using kind of toxic products. Your home is never going to be that kind of really grotty, needing to use the hard stuff and ending up with really dirty cleaning rags. Right, next one, moving swiftly on today. Question from Renee McLean. She says, thanks for the tour of the Swedish summer house. And I was decluttering some DVDs and I kept ones of The Transporter with Jason Statham. She says, I like Jason Statham too. Have you seen him in the movie Spy? Renee, yes, I love Jason Statham in the Transporter movies. He's kind of like a Flylady follower. He's got his routines and his rules, and I love that. He sticks to his routines. And I do love Jason Statham in Spy because he does comedy in it, and he's really brilliant at comedy. He swears like a trooper in it, but I just love that there's a couple of scenes in Spy that I just love, where he's talking about jumping out of a plane and he's breaking his arm and he can still kind of save the day. So if you haven't checked out that film with Jason Statham, there's a wee recommendation. More questions about the summer house from Kelly Lanya. She says, you said you're going to move to an apartment in a few years. We're downsizing from the big place that we have here in Copenhagen, moving into the centre of the city. Will you keep your Swedish summer house? Another question from Penny Heinrich. She says, adorable Swedish cabin that you have. Do you think there will be a time after hubby retires that you would move there permanently? And also a question from Dagnolia 6004. Such a great Swedish cabin. Would you retire there? And the answer to all those questions is no, we would not retire to Sweden. We would not retire to the cabin. We'll always be living permanently in Denmark, but we will always keep the Swedish cabin. I love the Swedish cabin. And it's funny, I love the house, or loved the house here in Copenhagen, this big old house, but I'm not kind of in love with it anymore. But the Swedish cabin, there's something about it. And when I was looking at the Swedish cabin, when we first went to view it, I went along with my bestie, Helena, my Danish bestie. She came with me on the first viewing, and we got to the place and she said, this house has such good karma, and she was bang on the nose about that. I had several questions about the layout of the cabin. So in the video you saw that there are 2 wooden cabins and a wooden deck. Those are the guest cabins, and there are no facilities in them. So if you want to spend a penny, if you want to use the bathroom or shower, wash your hands, you have to go into the main house. The main house is what you saw in the video. We also have the white building is a little pavilion where we have sit and have our dinner in the evenings. We usually take our breakfast on the wooden deck because that's where the sun hits in the morning. And also at the bottom of the garden, you can kind of see we have a little shed and a little storage place. And as I said, we bought the cabin lock, stock and barrel from the previous owner. So it came with the full inventory, crockery, most of the furniture that you can see in the cabin, that belongs to the previous owners, everything that was garden shed, and I'm still kind of decluttering there. So it's an ongoing process, even after, I think it's 12 years we've had the cabin. Is that right? 12, 13 years. Farry Greenaway asked, is the cabin, is it a little community of holiday homes, or do some people live there all year? We're actually in a little fishing village, so ours is one of the very few summer houses. It's not a kind of traditional summer house area. And all of our neighbours live there all year round. And Paula's Healthy Living, she asks, what an absolutely charming cabin. Do you ever worry that some guests will not leave it in the same pristine condition? And we don't rent out the cabin, so we lend it out to family, to friends. My son's often there with his friends. They'll spend a week there in the winter or in the summer. And our very good neighbours, they're actually having a family celebration soon, a huge thing, and they've got guests coming from Germany, and so the German friends, they're going to live in our cabin for a few days. So there we go. So that's why I like to have everything in kind of labelled so that people can find everything, and we've never had a problem with people not leaving it in a nice state afterwards. Oh, two last questions. One is from Ellen Barnacle. She says, Diane, I always love your practical, down-to-earth and economical advice. Yeah, I'm a canny Scot. I don't like spending money, or I don't like waste. Do you have any tips on how to prepare for the kids being home all summer? I want to enjoy the time with them, but don't want our house to get out of order. How do I balance it all? Ellen, I make a video about this every year, and that video will probably be coming next week. Because we are moving into kind of summer scheduling here on my channel, and I'll be doing something a bit different as we move through the summer. So watch out for that video, because I've got great tips for how to not kind of turn into a kind of zombie over the summer, how to still get things done, how to really enjoy the summer, get the most out of it. And in a similar vein, a question from Alida van der Veldhoven in the Netherlands. She mentioned, what a clean and organised Swedish cabin. How do you manage? How do you manage to keep some routines and stay organised in the holiday season? I often feel tired after a vacation because it causes huge amounts of washing and stuff that you have to clear away. Same for preparing travel tips. Can you give some advice on how to stay cool, relaxed and organised before, after and during vacations? Yes, coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited to get into the summer videos with you. But let's not forget about the other things that I promised. On housekeeping, this week we have been working in... Do you remember? Have you been watching my videos? We have been working in Flylady Zone 5, the living room. Next week, it's a kind of crossover week again, because we're moving from one month to the next. One is the entryway to the house, the hall, the dining room, and two is the kitchen. And I've got my eye on some big appliances that I think I can declutter there. So looking forward to that. And if you saw my video on 5 things to declutter in Flylady Zone 4, did you see that video? I said that I had some red sandals which were on probation. What happened to those? Well, the sandals are still comfy, they're leather, nice sandals, and what I did with them, I ended up painting them with leather paint. So the sandals that were red, they were originally black, I painted them red, and now I've leather painted them white. So I've just got a few last finishing touches to do, but I think they've turned out really well. And I just used the flat white paint that I have for my white Doc Martens. I use that for repairs. And I think they've turned out really well. So I'm really enjoying not having to buy new footwear all the time. I try and revamp, upcycle what I already have. And then some book talk before we got into your self-care missions. So I know a lot of you have started using reading as your self-care. Woohoo! Love reading. I've just finished the Anastasia Hastings book, of hoaxes and homicide. That was an ebook. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first one in the series, and I enjoyed the second one as well. So those are definitely worth, if you can track those down at your local library. And one that I listened to on audiobook this week was Baking and Entering by Emma Ainsley. And that was a fun listen, and you know, these kind of cozy crime things that are set in a bakery or set in a bookshop or set in a hairdresser's, they're just a good bit of escapist fun. And that audiobook was only about 3 hours long, so it didn't take me long to whiz through it, but I really like the audiobooks if I'm out for a run, if I'm doing chores around the house, just real escapist stuff. And when I was at our local Danish library this week, I also voted in the European elections. We can do postal voting at our local library. So I did that when I was there. And also picked up a couple of books just on a whim. You recognise who that is on the cover? That is our new king, King Frederick X of Denmark. And it's his vision for the monarchy, his reign. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Again, it's quite a short one. We have one of the oldest monarchies in the world. So anyway, that'll be fun to dip into. And the other one that I picked up is Niels Krause-Kjær. It's called Jagttegn. And actually, no, Niels, he's such a sweet guy. He is a journalist, political commentator. He used to be the presenter of Deadline, if you've ever seen that Danish TV news program. And we were at a party, was it last week? And he was reading excerpts from his book. So anyway, I picked up that one to read. The first book in the series actually made it into a movie many years ago. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading that one. The genre is political drama, a bit like Borgen, if you've ever seen the TV series. And those two, obviously, I'm reading them in Danish. And last but not least, the self-care. I'm giving you a choice of 4 self-care options. And today I'm going to make it super simple for you, because I know many of you are on board with the ideas now, and you comment on the video and say, yeah, I reached out to a friend, or tried a new exercise, or I cooked something nice for myself. But many of you are still not getting in the daily self-care. So here come 4 things that will take 1 minute or less, but are going to give you that great feeling that you've done something for yourself, okay? So remember, let me know 1, 2, 3, or 4, what's it going to be? So number 1 is to drink some water. Yeah, as simple as that. Maybe you want to use a nice fancy wine glass, your favorite mug, but just drink it and enjoy it and just focus in on it, because we can all do with drinking more water. Mission number 2 is to write down 3 things that you're grateful for, a little gratitude list. What 3 things are you grateful for? Let me know down below. Number 3 is to do some stretching, and you can even do it in the office. There are plenty of little exercises that you can do push-ups against the wall, but some form of stretching, just for a minute. If you've been doom scrolling on YouTube or whatever, or the internet, maybe you want to get up and do AFK, away from the keyboard. And number 4 is to visualize a calm place. And that's really easy for me, because I just have to close my eyes and think of the Swedish cabin that we have. So what's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let me know down below, and make sure you do it. It's so simple. These things do not cost any money, said the canny Scot. And I'm going to do number 2, the gratitude list. I'll put mine in the comments so I can read yours and you can read mine. Anyway, I hope you will consider subscribing, liking the video, sharing with a friend if you've enjoyed it today. I shall see you next week for more simple minimalist living fun. All I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, and I shall see you next week with a ra ra ra. Okay, bye for now.